what at this point has been done with the store manager, with the baristas that were involved
Mm-hmm.
in this incident?
Yes.
Well, let me start by sort of building on your comments.
Yes.
Starbucks was founded and created around this concept of the third place. And the third place we consider to be a warm, welcoming environment for all customers, where people have an opportunity to connect over coffee and tea. You know, certainly sharing a coffee or tea and having a human connection is something that's been going on for centuries, and Starbucks has really been built around that principle of the human experience and human connection, and creating a warm, welcoming environment in our stores for that to happen. In this instance, that did not happen, and that is a breakdown. Now, certainly, that is what we've got to focus on, is how could this ever happen? How could this ever be a situation where the police are called in a situation that is not appropriate, and things escalate to the point where not only the actions but the outcome are reprehensible? It was wrong. We acknowledge that. And so our job is to figure out how do we learn from it and address it. So the first step is doing a very thorough and thoughtful review of all matters. Certainly the store manager's decisions and
Yes.
actions in this situation. Thorough review of how could they ever get to the conclusion that calling the police was an appropriate thing to do by looking at the guidelines. Are we doing appropriate levels of training, not just on those guidelines, but as Roz said, around unconscious bias? And so the phases we're going through is really a deep, thorough, thoughtful review and understanding of all those matters, and we're going to be very, very intentional.
I find it curious that you used the word reprehensible, and I've not heard whether or not the manager or the baristas, whomever was involved in this, have not been dealt with and or fired.
Just suggest that the store manager is being dealt with. There's still some more of the review pieces that need to fall in place, and I would just ask for a little more time so that we do this in a thoughtful way. But I understand your question, and you know, this was the store manager's decision. This is the store manager who called police, and so this is clearly that is under review.
Well, again, let's go back to the word that I keep seeing come up in a number of headlines, and that you've stated here at least twice, to my count, is reprehensible. And that's not a very casual word.
No, it is not.
So for you to use that term and indicate that the actions of one of your partners, someone who represents your brand,
Yes.
has violated that brand, I'm finding it a little more than curious that that hasn't been dealt with in a more severe fashion. It still seems to be, you still seem to be utilizing kid gloves in discussing what the status of the store manager and or the baristas that were involved in this action.